The Legend of Tianding, developed by, wait for it, Creative Games Computer Graphics Corporation, and published by Neon Doctrine, is a stylish side-scrolling brawler with plenty of platforming segments and secret hunting. Mechanically, it's nothing you haven't seen before, but the novel setting and fantastic presentation help it stand out. The Legend of Tianding feels like the opening act for a series of games, based on the exploits of Liao Tianding, a legendary Taiwanese folk hero fighting against authorities during the Japanese occupation of Taiwan in the early 20th century. The state of the world, the characters you encounter, and several events are supposedly based on reality, but the Chinese manga style, coupled with the radio play style interludes, quickly reveal the Legend of Tianding as a more fantastical experience. Liao returns to Taipei City after months of isolation and kung fu training in the nearby mountains. He repeatedly flees from an overbearing master who insists he remain hidden, after having had visions that Liao's fate was to die that year. Tired of hiding, and keen to weaken Japanese colonial rule over the citizens of the city, the adventure begins in earnest when Liao goes after a Japanese tea trader trying to drive off local merchants and sell counterfeit goods. It doesn't take long before Liao's actions see him recruited by a rebel group, the 28 Mansions, and discovers that his master belongs to an order tasked with guarding an ancient tomb housing untold riches, and a cursed blade wanted by the local Japanese colonial authorities. This kicks off a multi-stage quest that sees Liao stealing several ancient plaques, avoiding a bumbling detective hell-bent on his capture, assisting several friends in the city, tackling members of an assassin order, and dealing with a bloodthirsty secret police agent, all the while evil twins scheme in the background during the chapter interludes. Now, despite the presentation and the swashbuckling vigilante narrative, the overarching narrative goes to some dark places and demonstrates the oppression faced by the Taiwanese under Japanese colonial rule, through bureaucracy, informants, and police brutality. That said, the violence always feels stylized rather than gratuitous, and Liao primarily defeats his foes using kung fu. Depending on the side quests you complete, and you can complete them all before triggering the final battle, there are several endings available. Just be warned that several plot threads are left unresolved for potential sequels, so there's no conclusive ending. When it comes to the gameplay, The Legend of Tianding is fast and fluid, with a focus on slick traversal through city streets, underground sewers, moving trains, and ancient tombs, and stylish brawls against hordes of enemies or a single tough boss. As in the Guacamelee games, the kung fu moves you learn, think rising kicks, flying kicks, and downward strikes, are all used for both combat and traversal. Liao also has a grappling hook to leap over hazards, and a sash that's used to grab and fling around weakened enemies, stealing weapons from their grasp for temporary use, or pickpocketing items. With detailed animation work and plenty of visual flourishes during combat, it always felt great leaping across the rooftops or stringing together a flurry of kicks to juggle a tough enemy. It may not offer a massive repertoire of moves, but reaching out of the way secrets, avoiding traps, and surviving boss encounters quickly teaches you to string together this moveset with perfect timing. Now, in addition to unlocking new kung fu techniques as the plot dictates, The Legend of Tianding also offers several simple progression systems, which feel most vital when playing on the highest difficulty. The most developed system involves collecting and equipping charms, which buff Liao or specific attack types. Each charm has an associated point cost, so you have to pick and choose which ones to equip to complement your playstyle. The other systems feel somewhat underdeveloped in comparison, but they give you a reason to spend the yen you acquire from battles. A blacksmith can upgrade your blade, a chef can increase your stash of health-restoring pork buns, while finding secrets or donating yen to beggars will net you collectibles that provide incremental upgrades. In contrast to the stage-by-stage progression of so many traditional brawlers, The Legend of Tianding lets you freely explore several small areas in the city, between linear segments and unique locations. The city offers simple side quests, player upgrades, and a few random combat encounters. However, the longer you play, the more it begins to feel like padding as you bounce between important NPCs before beginning quests. Oh, and there's also a traditional Taiwanese board game called 4-color cards you can play. However, I had no idea what the hell was going on after several rounds, lost too many yen, and swiftly moved on. One thing to note is that the side quests, including those that are essential to get the good endings, are resolved by bringing secret collectibles to several NPCs. Should you find yourself missing a key item, your only option is to relive these memories, which you can do at a certain NPC. This means re-exploring stages, and potentially grinding boss fights in the hope that your pickpocket attempt liberates the required item, rather than just some health or coins. Now, it is possible to get all your secrets on your first run through a stage, but it's much easier when you have new skills, or equip a charm that pings when you're near a secret. For those not comfortable with tough and technical brawlers, The Legend of Tianding offers two difficulties from the get-go. Gentleman Thief is perfect for those more interested in the story, with only the boss fights posing a significant challenge if you're reckless. For those familiar with the genre, Wanted Outlaw provides tougher enemies, and crams even more hazards into the linear stages. It bears repeating just how phenomenal The Legend of Tianding can look in action, using a side-scrolling perspective of 3D environments and characters, which all use flat but detailed textures to make it look like a manga comic panel. Traversal and combat animations are slick and detailed, with onomatopoeia and damage symbols popping up for added impact. The soundtrack feels appropriate for the period and is catchy as hell, though it does get stale when you find yourself backtracking repeatedly or replaying the linear stages. When it comes to voice acting, there's very little outside a few greetings or emphasized words, a fact that highlights the only major presentation issue I had. There are too many poorly translated lines, at least into English, that undermine some scenes by making them unintentionally comedic. It's hilarious at times, but it can be distracting during the more poignant scenes. All things considered, The Legend of Tianding is easy enough to recommend for its engaging narrative, simple but empowering combat system, slick traversal, and great presentation. Replaying levels to hunt for side quest collectibles is fairly bland, and the odd rough translation can kill the mood, but they do little to diminish the overall experience. Even if the gameplay elements don't introduce anything new to the genre, The Legend of Tianding might still be worth a look if you're curious about the historical setting and legends that are rarely covered in Western video games.